Hello, back again for another book review. This time I am going to be reviewing a book called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I found this book a couple of years ago. I actually read it and I cite it in the book that I just published. And I just wanted to find something that was an authority on not supernatural stuff, but I mean, I guess you can say I just wanted to find someone who's an authority on expressing and talking about non-local things. And you'll see why in a little bit. So bear with me here because I usually look at my notes and sometimes I'm scrolling through and it might be a little distracting. So I hope that it's not too bad for people as they're listening. So Becoming Supernatural is a book that was written by Dr. Dispenza, and he wrote it because he felt like he had to, despite the fact that it might ruin his reputation. He says that in the beginning of the book, and this was published in 2017, and I wish I had found it before because I finished my dissertation in 2016 and I wrote about presence. And so I could have used it as one of my resources, actually. Anyway, aside from the fact that he risked his reputation, and people call it pseudoscience, I think that it's a great read, especially for anybody who's into spirituality, because he breaks down very esoteric concepts into very tangible explanations, really. Cats. Anyway, the main thread of this book is that we can program our brain with higher vibrational thoughts. And the way to do so is to be present or to become present in the present moment. We can't do it if we're thinking about the past or the future. And he doesn't seem to really bring up a new concept here. It's something that's already been talked about and discussed and in certain cases researched, but his approach is different. He goes into a lot of details and he breaks it down biologically speaking and also energetically speaking, and shows us exactly what happens when this reprogramming happens. Anyhow, he says that most of us live our lives through programmed emotions from our past that keep us running around in the same vicious cycles. And the only way to break those habits is to learn to become present. Now, the way to become present, as he says, is to become in tune with the quantum field or the unified field. And this is an esoteric concept again, but it's basically like a non-local place where everything is one, or the place of wholeness. And in order to assist us to get to a place like this, we are to use some of the tools that he gives us, and there's several of them. One of them is tuning into potentials meditation. The other one is blessing the energy fields or chakras. And then a breathing technique, which I think is reminiscent of some of the yogic breathing that I know. A heart-centered meditation, which actually comes from a Sufi tradition, or the one that I'm familiar with. And then mind movies, which he walks you through making a mind movie, and I think you record it, and then you watch it over and over so that it helps you reprogram your future. And then a walking meditation. And he ends the book with several studies, like case studies of people who succeeded in reprogramming and healing debilitating diseases and changing their entire life into something more fruitful, or something that they've been wanting to manifest that they haven't been able to, but they were able to do it after they worked with his toolkit here. And then I found this priceless section in this book, which he discusses how we are programmed by advertisements. And I'm going to read a few sentences here because I think that it's going to serve somebody, especially now with the given pandemic and all the different programming around it. So he says that advertisements usually put us in a state of shock, which takes us into an alpha state. So that's like a fight or flight. And when we're in this state, we're more susceptible to becoming programmed or buying anything or being sold anything. So I'm going to read from page 181 here. If I can find it. I thought I marked it. Yep, here it is. Excuse me while I gather some assistance for my eyes. So he says, let's take a closer look at what this commercial is attempting to do. First, it puts you in an emotional state by changing how you feel. Once it captures your attention, you immediately become more open and suggestible to the information that follows. Then a few paragraphs down, he says, in other words, your body is going to subconsciously and automatically be programmed to weaken your immune function. I think that's all I'll read. You kind of get the idea. Basically, that's how television works. So he actually says to avoid it at all costs, especially before going to bed. Okay, so I'd like to end by saying that Dr. Dispenza is talking about what sounds like a Kundalini rising. In fact, he's recommending things that help us induce it. And when you read the book, it seems really simple and straightforward, right? But it's not as simple as it is stated in the book, or as it seems to be as you read it in the book. As a trauma survivor myself, and someone who has researched and read about trauma for a while and even just published a book about trauma, I think there is a readiness that is needed. And there's a need to allow negative feelings to happen before we can reprogram them. And it's not on anyone's timeline. So you can do the meditations and the breath work in the book that he recommends. My cat is just purring right now. So you can do all these things every day, religiously, 10 times a day, and do your yoga and do all these practices. And if you're not ready, it's just not going to happen. But also, there's another thing to consider. And I think a lot of people in the trauma world seem to forget that. No matter how much healing you do and how much stuff you process, there comes a point, and depending on your life events, something can come and you'll be like in a perfectly great place. I'm just going to move the cat now. You'll be in a perfectly great place and something will come into your life and literally pull you out of it and take you many steps backward instead of moving you forward. And you would have had all these practices in your life, but they're not going to stop life from happening. So that's the reality. All right, that ends my book review for today. I hope it was worth your time listening. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. There'll be more, plenty more. And you never know, I'm hoping to get some more artists to talk to me on here. We'll see. All right, take care until next time. Bye-bye.